This film is about technologically superior people that watch planets in several galaxies, and it opens with James and Mako traveling to the Nibiru planet. On their planet, a volcano was indeed going to erupt. James' team had gone to stop the same explosion that would have destroyed their planet, but the locals attacked them and eventually their captain sent them to the volcano since they believed they were their enemies, so that he can use cold fusion to chill at James and I traveling in space. They return but she was trapped in the volcano by the spooks. James commands them all to save her, removes the spacecraft from the ocean so that he is able to teleport the ghosts to his ship, that his life is saved, and that the volcano finally subsides. Inhabitants of Nibiru planet. He created his drawing and idolized him, assuming him to be his deity, because he had not seen such great technology. Starts doing it, and when they return to Earth, Christopher Pike, their commanding officer, informs them that the planet's inhabitants haven't even shown him how to create a wheel, and you too. James was relieved of his duties and the spooks were sent to another ship because they realized their error after they displayed such a sophisticated ship. In fact, the spooks claimed that they broke the regulations because members of his race never display such high technology. Tell lies. James is angry at him. But because these directives originated from above, they are powerless to act. After that, we show a guy whose daughter had cancer and who was approached by a man who said, "I can save your daughter, but you have to do me a favor. Give me your blood," before injecting it into his daughter. After doing so and observing that she is beginning to feel better, he proceeds to Starfleet headquarters. And in keeping with his word, he creates a loud bang there, accompanied with a lot of fire. An emergency meeting is organized following the deaths of everyone, and participants learn that a man named. They are attacked after Harrison done what he did, knowing full well why he did it. James notices Harrison's fighter jet attacking them while they were being attacked. Destroys it, but Harrison manages to teleport away, and Christopher is killed in the attack. James begins to cry upon seeing them because the person who has always supported him is aware of this. It turns out that Harrison was teleported to the Kronos planet, where he was unable to reach him because the planet and he were at war, and by coming there to attack him, he would have sparked a war. Marx returns him to his position and grants him access when James claims it is his obligation to speak with him and bring him back to Earth. To a brand new, extremely potent weapon. Spock informs him that by law, we cannot kill anybody without appearing in court. Nevertheless, James responds that nothing was done in front of him because their engineers were able to transport those weapons as they were prepared to travel on Kronos. Instead of approving, he warns James that the weapon is extremely hazardous and was probably put there on purpose. He is being dragged while claiming that I am quitting my job because I don't approve of it. They all travel to Kronos planet after James accepts his design, but James did not want to risk the lives of his team. He took him to the planet with only a few people. I interrogate that they had found Harrison's location, warning him that if he did not surrender, if he did, they would attack him with trees. As soon as James comes down, Kronos men attack him and orders him to land the ship. Uhura says that I know their language, that's why I will try to understand them once. After that this is happening, she talks to them. Their leader says that we are humans. Why help him? He was about to die, but then a shootout starts between them. There was someone in me who was killing Cronanus. It was none other than Harrison, and he came to surrender himself. James takes his anger out on her, but she doesn't even get a scratch. They go back to their spaceship, but it won't start because of some fault. They are in serious trouble, according to Harrison. He warns them that if they don't pay attention, his entire crew would perish. Harrison identifies a place and directs him to go there. James is attentive to his speech. Although he didn't want to admit it, there was some truth to what he said, which is why he told Scott where he was. However, they take him down to open the torpedo after he requests to leave, and as they do so, it detonates. Carol turns the torpedo off before McCoy's hand gets entangled in it when it goes off. And when they open it, they discover a man's body that had been preserved in a refrigerator for 300 years. Harrison reports They are informed that each torpedo contains a man, whose name is Khan rather than Harrison. They are all genetically altered people. We were created by people, but they turned us into traitors. Declaring that Marcus supplanted me again a year ago and was more dangerous than I was, he put the rest of us to sleep in the chambers. The reason he sent you here was to test my homemade torpedoes, not to catch me. When a ship appeared in front of them carrying Marks was forced to turn the ship over to Khan. Ko is informed by James that we are transporting Khan to Earth, where he will receive his punishment. Marks pursues Earth Key and their ship and assaults them, killing many of them. His people perish in outer space. Carol, who was Marks's daughter, urges him to quit, but Marks refuses. James teleports her to his ship and says, "We can leave it if you want food." Marks warns him, "I have put you all here to die, but we will not act against his men." When Scott entered his spaceship, it stopped functioning, just as he was ready to destroy them. Marcus' spacecraft was the place Khan specified. He must now reflect a little more. James makes the decision to board Marcus' ship with Khan. Khan is taken by Spock. Has no choice but to agree to go because James cannot trust him. The queries Khan to accompany him in exchange for him releasing his team. Khan Scott. They both jump from their spaceship after Scott asks him to unlock the door. When Marx's men grabbed hold of him, he was just about to open the gate, but they were both extremely close to it. He must unlock the gate or they will beat him outdoors. The soldier vacuums as Scott opens the gate. Throws out because both of them have entered the building and have access to technology that allows them to glimpse into the future. In a dream, Old Version responds to Spook's question about Khan's character by warning him that he can't be trusted because he can murder anyone if needed. Khan. When James enters their control room, Marcus is shot, knocked out, and forced to give up. However, he claims that the inhabitants of the planet you just massacred will shortly turn human. Will assault, and if I'm detained, who will be your leader? Also this Khan James knocks Marks nearly to death, then uses his fists to crush Marks's head. Khan informs Spock that he must move the entire crew onto his spacecraft before he destroys their vessel. Khan informs K that his people can survive without oxygen, therefore I will destroy your oxygen tank because he believes he won't do this because otherwise his people will perish. Moreover, when your people... He anticipated that he would be assassinated from all sides here, so he agreed to Khan's demand that the entire crew teleport to Khan's ship and that Khan then return them to James, but when he started raining missiles on them, he was about to kill them all at once. I was delighted, but then those torpedoes began to explode after the springs triggered them. But the entire team had been removed. Khan's ship begins to deteriorate, but so does his spacecraft. Everyone was in danger since they were all stuck in the gravity of Earth and would be propelled into space if their engines failed to start. His gravity engines were scattered, causing a collision, therefore, which he began moving in the air. The James makes the decision to restart the reactor, but Scott talks him out of it. Since James Scott is confined there by himself and its radiation might kill anyone at any time. He enters, but as soon as he comes into contact with radiation, his body begins to deteriorate. However, the reactor restarts the car, which starts the engine, saving everyone from a collision. The spooks wanted to bring in James since his body was radioactive, but Scott warns that if he opens the gate, the radiation will spread throughout his ship, so we had to wait even if we don't want to. As a result, Spock witnesses the death of his own friend for the first time. Very first. Khan's ship was about to collapse because he was so furious and determined to kill him, but he murdered him on purpose. Attempts to kill as many people as possible by landing in the middle of the road. He pursues someone until death. On the other side, someone notices that Khan's blood has the ability to bring the dead back to life and declares that we must catch Khan while he is still alive. However, Khan and Spooks got into a battle, and Spooks just wanted to kill Khan. There was no way to get in touch with him, and he really wanted to murder me. Khan was more stronger than he was. He was on the verge of passing out when Uhura appeared and Spock began brutally hitting him. He learns from High Uhura that we. After a few weeks, James observes McCoy preserving his life with his blood. Then James gives them all his appreciation. So that Khan wouldn't cause any more trouble, they then returned him to the slumber chamber. Years later, James honors everyone who lost their lives that day at Starfleet headquarters. His new goal was to find additional new galaxies within the next 5 years and release this movie along with it. This concludes the film. Please leave a comment and let us know how you felt about it.